It's crap. But your steel is coming back. It's all coming back.
It's interesting, Saagar. I've talked to, and I know we've all talked to a number of Republicans this week who did not like this move from the president. It had a lot of opposition within its own party, but not in that area. Both candidates, Democrat, Republicans, they all support it right out in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, this is overwhelmingly popular in this area of the country where steel is such a major industry. And you know what the president and his supporters would say is that they say, look, we understand many of the Republican concerns, and that's why that they're offering exclusions to many of the, to many of our allies that would be most affected. As I understand it, once all of the exclusions are given to some of the major allies, that would essentially exempt over 1/3 of the steel that's coming into this country. So the effect that it would have on the markets, the kind of doomsday rhetoric that we have seen some from the most ardent free traders in Congress and, in the Republicans who are against this, the White House, I think, has heard their concerns, and they're giving in with those exclusions. And that's something that shows that the balancing act that this president is going to continue to have to make, which is you have an ardent free trade party here in Washington with the establishment, but the people who put this president in the White House are the most ardent supporters of things like these steel and aluminum tariffs. And so he is always, I think, as you saw yesterday, I think he called it the tariffs his baby. Oh, yeah. He knows exactly where his heart is. He knows exactly where the mind of the people who put him in Washington and in the office are, and he'll usually default to those instincts.
Well, it's something, agree or disagree with the president on this, that you have to say that he's been consistent on 30-plus year record of this type of thing on trade. Let me get you on this other topic that Ellis and Barbara talked about at the top of the broadcast, Saagar, before we let you go, and that's these maneuvers towards school safety from the White House that we expect to be made official here in a short time. But from our own John Roberts is reporting, we have a lot of the details already coming out. They want to raise the age for long guns up to 21, support for states to train some faculty on using guns, some teachers with guns, the banning of bump stocks. Is this a president that's moving against the NRA, or is that a bit too strong?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that's too strong because, look, I mean, the Florida legislature passed a bill raising the age to 21, and the NRA immediately sued the state of Florida. So if this becomes national law, we are almost certain to see some major legislation and possibly a fight all the way up to the Supreme Court. Because the question really does arise here is, can you deny the constitutional right to buy, a gun or to buy a long gun? Right. And is that going to be interpreted? And is it, like I said, between 18 and 19 and 20, to deny those constitutional rights to an American citizen is a very legal gray area here. Now, I'm certain that the president has considered this and that it's definitely something that the White House is gearing up for.
And a lot of it seems to be a push for the states to take action. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it seems that way, right? Pushing the states to move in as opposed to a change in federal law.
Right, exactly. So a lot of this, with the president's penchant here is after the school shooting has been, we need to, at least provide some platform to arm teachers. And so, as I understand it, what it's going to be come out and be made official is, funding if you have states that want to implement these sorts of programs, is that the federal government will step in with some sort of funding that they can offer them, but it's not in any way, a compulsory program that every state has to buy into.
All right, Saagar, we're going to move on right now to some of our other top stories. We'll bring you back in a little bit to talk about the potential meeting, the other big story of the week between